With these strength athletes that were competing in Paris, do you find that they have superior genetics that allows them to perform, at their very best, being the top in the world, or is it something that they've just dedicated their lives to and become very good at? Because
Well,
I
it's,
get a
it's
question
obviously
a lot of the
both.
times. I get a question a lot of the time when it comes to genetics, and is there a possibility to out train less than ideal genetics?
Okay, so that's a little bit of your question. Maybe I'll say it this way. You think it's true that somebody who has the worst genetic draw in the world can ever beat somebody in a major sport that has the best genetic draw in the world? It's an obvious no, right?
Hmm.
No matter what, you and I could never, the easiest one, right? You and I could never beat Tiger Woods in golf. Not going to happen, right? You and I could never beat Eddie Hall in a deadlift competition. Like, not going to happen. I don't even know how much you deadlift, but if you deadlift 700 pounds, you still have no chance to beat Eddie Hall, right? Like,
No, no.
there's no way, right? Okay, so we know that that's true. Genetics are clearly part of it. Let's go the inverse. We also then saying whoever has the best genetic draw, training is irrelevant. Clearly not. Like, clearly not, right? I promise if you train really, really hard and Eddie Hall never lifted a weight, you would probably have beaten him. So in both
Mm.
scenarios, I probably wouldn't have because he's 3 times my size. I don't know how big you are, but so you get the point, right? So the question is,
Yeah.
yes, sometimes genetics are irrelevant. Sometimes they're everything. Where does it lie in the middle? Okay, take a look at just because you mentioned it, look at our females in American weightlifting. We had a couple of things happen this year. One, we had some major success. Olivia Reeves crushed it. I think Olivia Reeves is like 21 years old. Right? You typically are not peaking in a strength sport at 21 or 22. But before Olivia, we had Kate Nye. Kate Nye won worlds of silver, also like 22, same weight class. And then a couple years before that, we had Maddie Rogers. So what you have are these girls that are coming up and they're smashing, and they're breaking records, American records. They're breaking youth records and stuff, and then they're having success in their 20s, 20, 21, 22. One is going to basically say that's, and then why I'm saying that is those girls were not in developmental programs. They weren't weightlifting since the time they were 4. They were in gymnastics and things like that. And within a few years of being in a strength sport, a power sport, they were top of the world. Olivia specifically is, Olympic champion, world record holder.
Mhm.
So you're like, okay, but they all train for years nonstop. They don't take breaks. Olivia, Maddie, and all them Kate lifted for hours a day, almost every day, 6 days a week, multiple sessions a day for years. None of those 3 girls would have ever won a world medal had they not trained like absolute crazy. So it is all of that. You do have, if you stack like, again, Kate versus Olivia, Kate won a world championship basically within a couple of years. And then had 4 or 5 years of training behind her. And Olivia, with a year or 2 of training, come and then beat her. So it's both. Like, they have tons and tons of training and they work really, really hard. And then sometimes someone with better genetics just shows up. And you
Yeah.
did put the work in, and you had Kate had genetics, again, to win a world title a couple of years into training. And then someone showed up with a little bit better genetics. And there's just nothing you can do. So it's all of those. And having worked with world champions and such in probably 15 plus sports right now at this point in my career, I can tell you I've seen them all. I've coached some people where they just do not work hard at all. They don't hardly do anything. And they're still all pros or MVPs or on the border or biggest contract in their sports. And then I've had the opposites. People were like, you're actually like only kind of good and you've worked really, really hard and you're not famous, but you were in Major League Baseball for 6 years. And for your genetics, that was incredible. And you got there, or you made the team for 1 year, which was unbelievable because you did everything correctly because your genetics were not great. So it is clearly a part of it. And you can see examples from many, many sports where people do come in and break world records and win world championships really, really early. And that is mostly a genetic draw.